Okay, here we go. We live. We live right now. Yep, we are. Yeah, moving this a little bit closer. There we go. Today is April 18th, 2024. We're doing great. All is well. No complaints. And that's all I got for you today. Now, I don't know if I've been feeling a little burnt out or whatnot, but I was just getting these out like nobody's business, right? And now I just do it on my schedule time. So yeah, so we shall see how this works and we will go from there. I did have a topic today. Drinking some coffee, dark roast. Been on a dark roast kick. I think it's easier to get sweetness out of dark roast. So it's an easier gauge sometimes. But we'll see. You know, all is well on my end. No real changes for Amazon. I checked it last night. Getting a little worried, but it's the same. So I'm just going to keep it moving. I'll check in with my representative. When would I check in with her? I will check in with her next end of the month. But other than that, we are good. Things are good. YouTube is going really well. So yeah, so that's what we got going. Testing out different coffees. Roasted quite a bit yesterday. Shipping some out today. Delivering some today. So yeah, so that's what we got going. Let the coffee cool. Hopefully it tastes like something. So one of the subscribers, Raul, he tasted the Kenyan and he kind of feels the same way. He says this probably could be a bad crop. I say it is what it is. Don't give it more credit than what it is. It's really that simple. Trust your palate. Trust what you're drinking. We're going to keep it moving. That's all it's about. It's okay for it to be what it is and you to feel the way that you do. But it is what it is, right? So that's what I got going, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Like I said, I did have a topic. I will talk about the topic. But for now, I just want to talk because I haven't really just talked. Yesterday, I just got myself in a bind to the point where I was just so busy. Didn't have much time for anything. But it's okay. We're going to have things figured out. We're going to go from there. And then I think that's it. I don't know what else to say about certain things that I'm doing, trying to get done, trying not to overload myself with bills and cash flow and all that stuff. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But this is what we are talking about right now. This is what is on my mind. So this coffee's okay. Chasing sweetness. I haven't give you much detail. Let's go ahead and turn this mic monitoring off. Let me turn it down. Okay, it's off. It's just sometimes you have to do that. because it's cool to hear yourself, but then after a while, it's, to me at least, it's kind of weird. But Amazon, no, YouTube. So I've got a system ish, still figuring it out. Finished my video yesterday, edited it. It seems like it's going to be a parody. I hope people don't think it is a parody. I did say it at the end. It's not a parody. This is how I truly feel about the French press. And it is what it is, right? The French press is a machine that I don't use anymore. And it's okay. And I think that's one of the things when I listened to it like 900 times that I got down to the point where it's okay for us to not use things that we used to use quite a bit. It's just our palate has changed. The way we see coffee, the world, and all that good stuff. And that's perfectly okay for us to have a different feel about what we want to do with coffee, right? But I do think filter is taking over. It's just so much better. You can actually taste what you're tasting, and it's when you get that bean right, when you get that brew right, it's magical. It's simply magical. So that's what I got going. And I think the next one is going to be finding sweetness in espresso. I think that's going to be the title, Finding Sweetness in Espresso. And I think I got that recipe down. I do have enough beans to test it out one more time. I may do that tonight to get my game plan right and then go from there. I think I do have a game plan with what I want to do with the thumbnail for the French press video. I may try to play around with it when I get off of here, but I may take it with me so I could just get some more ideas just to play and take pictures of. It'll be interesting. But yeah, so that's what I got going. The camera stuff is very daunting. I've been using my iPhone to do my videos. I did see myself in the new camera. It's amazing. It's like had goggles on and now I can truly really see. 4K is amazing. The way the image looks on a computer, it's beyond my wildest dreams. And then the thing about it too is let me see. Yeah, I need to look at this listing, but whatever. Yeah. So it's a work in progress, and I did watch a video a couple of days ago that I will listen to again later on today, just to really get my mind right about what he was talking about doing. And he was pretty much talking about load fronting the stuff, right? And it's where you can have a lot of videos and you can get things done, thumbnails and all that stuff. And it's essentially the same thing, right? But it's more laid out in a way to where you're not constantly posting and doing all that stuff. And all you're doing is just reacting, and it gives you more of a look into what you're trying to do for the week, forecast for the whole month, not for the week, for the month. I do like that. So I'm just going to wrap myself around that a little bit more. And then we're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to do this Finding Sweetness in Espresso. But yeah, my video did pretty good. It's almost at 100 views. I don't know why I care about that stuff, but it's data, right? I've been using vidIQ to help me out with keywords to get things out. Thumbnail kind of ideas. I do need to work on that a little bit. But and then tons of shorts. I think just off that video, I got 7 more subscribers, which is bizarre. You know, it's absolutely bizarre, you know, and it's pretty amazing how things kind of work out the way that they do. And that's interesting. That's interesting how that kind of works in the favor that I'm doing. And yeah, okay, it has more stuff on there. I was like, why does it seem more limited than what I'm thinking it should be? But whatever. 3, that, yeah, it's bizarre. It's bizarre how things are working. So I am happy that I am doing things in a way to where it does make sense. And I just got to keep going, keep understanding, and keep getting better. And editing, every time I do editing, it's one of those things to where it gets, I thought it was going to be easy, but then it's not easy because I haven't done it before. But it's a lot harder than it seems, even though when you watch a video, and as you watch a video, you're like, okay, I know how I did that. I can do that. But when you do it, it's like, oh shit, this is a lot harder. Because you have to time things at times so it makes sense in the video. So those are some of the things that I've been thinking about going through and understanding. And now I can see a visual representation of how I should film, what I should look for, how to speed up my process, start to look at shortcuts within the keyboard, and then get to the point to where I am really, truly dialed in. And that's still going to take time. I need to keep doing this, understand what I'm doing. It's just like this podcast stuff. I got to the point where I can like get things out there like that. It won't take long at all for me to spit out something, work on the summaries, the thumbnails, or the art, and then chop it up in so different ways, make blog posts out of it, and then think about LinkedIn and all that good stuff. It's just the same thing. It's repetition. It's kind of in a way to where once you learn and grow, at first it's hard, but then once you get going, you get faster and better. There we go. It's tasting a lot better. Still has that acidicness to it. I don't think it's that pleasing. It's that grapefruit again. That pesky grapefruit. And when I say grapefruit, I'm not talking about the pure essence of grapefruit. Grapefruit is actually an interesting one. Grapefruit is actually sweeter than everything. If you think about it in the kind of citrus type of way, you got the big 3, right? You got grapefruit, you got orange, you got lemon. You know, lemon is going to be not sweet really. You probably get a little bit of sweetness in the Meyer lemon, that variety. But then you have orange right in the middle, and then you have grapefruit. And I'm sure some people think grapefruit is like closer to lemon than orange. But no, grapefruit has like the greatest intensity of sweetness and in color. It's really quite remarkable. But what I'm talking about when I say grapefruit, which I think most people are when I explain grapefruit is when you eat grapefruit, a lot of times you're eating with the pits and the and all the middle parts, that's extremely bitter. That stuff is really bitter. And that's the taste that I'm talking about with grapefruit. It's two grapefruits. I should talk about that a little bit more, but that's the grapefruit taste that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the pure essence of what grapefruit is. When you actually peel it, actually take your time and eat it, it's amazing. It's quite simply amazing. But this is not the grapefruit I'm talking about. I'm talking about the lazy man way of going about making grapefruit. But yeah, so that's kind of like more so what I'm thinking about. But yeah, so like I said earlier, I just want to come on here for a little bit. I'm actually about to get off soon. I'll probably do another 10 more minutes, whatnot. I think I've been rambling long enough. But here we go. We're going to talk about something that we probably need more time. I may come back to it later, but I think it's extremely relevant into what we're trying to talk about right now. I failed in photography. Not just photography. I wrote down this topic, and it's not just photography as a business, but I failed in photography as an artist. And it's one of those things to where I don't really talk about it much. I do think it's one of the greatest thing that has ever happened to me, just because of what kind of things it has given me. See, back in the day, about 12 years ago, I don't know how long ago, when I was still discovering a lot of things, one of the things I gravitated to was photography, like cameras and pictures and arts and stuff like that. I don't even know where the love for photography came from. I think deep down, everybody has always been in love with photography. And I can't pinpoint where my love for photography came from. And my wife, girlfriend at the time, but wife, was the muse. And I would take tons of pictures of her, different angles and different settings. And it got to the point where she was just like, hey, dude, you need to get the hell out of this house. You need to get out there to really express yourself. Not just me. I can't be your muse. So I did that. I left the house multiple times, and I would read, and I would practice. I even bought another camera. She told me to return it. So I stayed on my Nikon D60 for, I think it was another 2 years. Once we got into that altercation of me wanting to get rid of it, gear hungry. We all are gear hungry, right? And that taught me the most about photography, especially at that time. How it wasn't about the camera, it's about more so my imagination, what I was thinking. And truly, what an artist and creativity, let me get this. What an artist and what creativity truly really is. I was less in my mind and I was more focused about that next image. And it was a magical moment, magical time in my life. I don't know if I will ever get that again, because I literally, once I was done with photography, I was done with it. I took some pictures of the kids from time to time. And I did some gigs from here to there. You know, it was something that was a part of my life, then wasn't a part of my life. But even when it wasn't a part of my life, it was a part of my life because I was thinking about it all the time. The way I was look at things, it was it was a situation to where I got really, really good at it. I wouldn't say sure if I had opportunities to go out there and take more pictures, I could have really did some amazing things, right? And I think a lot of the pictures that I have taken, like one of my all-time favorites is of a Porsche that I took with my D60, and I just panned it out and about. It's quite amazing. And that only happened because I was out, right? I was out and about doing my thing, trying to figure things out. But yeah, it was a magical time in my life. And then I turned it into a business. And I don't think the business part was the worst part of it. I think it gave me more so like a realization of things I can do or don't like to do, how heavy gear was, how trying to get people to really trust what I'm saying, understand what I was saying, I got to the point to where you have to show people what your worth was, and they didn't want to pay this certain amount of money and all that good stuff. It was a lot of lessons because you're dealing with people. And as you deal with people, they have their own ways of going about things. And that still has not changed. All those lessons that I've learned about photography at the time are still with me right now. And I think I failed not because I just gave up. It's just because I think I ran its course, at least in my business type of way. It just ran its course for me. And I don't feel bad about it. Don't get me wrong, I still use it right now. Especially with these thumbnails, it gives me ideas and gives me that creative juice to see what I can do, how far I can push my pictures. And that's the way I look at thumbnails now. It's literally a way that I can express myself to people. And if you think about it, that's pretty cool. Because, yeah, it is about kind of giving somebody a reason to want to trust you, right? Or find something interesting about what you are doing in life, right? But I think to this point, it gets not so much in a way, but it gives you more of a reason to keep going. Or, none of those skills are lost. Like, I think I've heard somebody in this other YouTube video talked about, they asked this guy, so what do you think about all the skills and failures that you've had? Do you think those were worth it? And he was like, no hesitation, yeah. Those things were worth it because it's still with us right now. It's part of our lives. It's etched into our bodies. It's one of those things to where we are who we are because of so many things that we forget to realize that we've done and how we express ourselves. And as long as we go out there and experience life and do as much as we can and not just settle for what we think that we're supposed to do, I think we're going to be just okay. Just going to be just fine with anything and everything that we try to do. So I failed at photography, and I'm not mad or sad about saying that. I think that's extremely critical. I think that's important to say that you failed, that you sucked, that you did not make it. You did not come to the conclusion of getting to the goal that you set for yourself. I failed. And it's okay. I used to say this quite a bit on my Instagram, like I was a failure. I am a failure in so many different things. And it's been a great journey. It's been a lot of fun. And it's been one of those things to where when you sit down and really think about it, like I'm doing right now in front of myself, whoever does listen back to this, is that you have these realizations in your life that you really are like, yeah, I did that right there. I've conquered. I did something in a way to where I really do understand who I am as a person and all the people and help that I've touched. I remember when I was doing my blog, um, somebody emailed me and they were like, what did they do? They emailed me and they said that I really touched their lives, the stuff that I was writing about. And I was just jibber jabbing about something like what I'm doing right now, but you don't know who you will touch and affect, even beyond just yourself, right? So I did fail at photography. It was one of the greatest things that I've ever done, and I still do. And I'm extremely happy with the things that I've done with it, things that I learned because of it, and how it's still progressing me in this world today. And I'm looking forward to seeing my new life with photography. That's a part of my life and how it's going to help me, help others, and get me to a place where I'm not just doing coffee, right? It's just another way for me to truly try to express myself, to get it to the point to where I am making sense. I am doing things in a way to where I'm happy. I'm understanding what's going on, and just helping out people. That's really all it's about. And I think me helping out people in the way that I do it, beyond just selling a bag of coffee, right? It's I think I have something to say, and I'm saying it now. And it's a cool feeling to be in a place to where I could wonder, talk about it, do something about it, and learn and grow. Because nobody's going to ever really get behind your mission and your statement until you get behind it. And not just get behind it, but actually put action in front of it, right? People see that. People can tell when you're full of, when you're not full of shit and you're not lying. They can tell. And I do like the part that I am extremely critical and genuine about my message and what I care about and how I go about doing things. So that's extremely something. That is something that's critical and important to anything and everything that I try to do. So yeah, there we go. Hopefully this shit doesn't cut out. There we go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I've been on here 30 minutes. I got to do some other things before I get going for the day. Hug the boy, even though he spent $500 on some Roblox, but I'm getting my money back. So it is what it is. So yeah, we're gonna come back on here more than likely on Saturday, no Sunday, but I may try to do another one here and there. Just kind of talk things out, not go too crazy with my production. I do want these to be quality. If they are quality, if you see that's quality, let me know. I have my ways of going about doing things, and I hope that you are fine. Everybody else is fine. And photography, I failed at it. I have barely even scratched the surface of what I was trying to talk about, but that's the good thing about these podcasts. I can always come back and revisit topics as much as I want. Either give you a different insight or just talk about the same thing, or probably my perspective have changed. But, my biggest thing is company is still bullshit. And I think I may have to talk about that again soon. I know I've talked about it already. I may do that on the YouTube video. We'll see. We'll play around with all this stuff. Have a good time. So talk to you later. Bye.